Nottingham Forest finishing 2024 in the Premier League top four has undoubtedly been one of the biggest stories in English football this season. While some football fans may question whether they deserve to be in the top four or whether it's simply down to some big clubs like Manchester City, Man United, Tottenham and Aston Villa seriously struggling in the first half of the season, when we take a closer look at how Nuno Espirito Santos' team have controlled games this season, there's little doubt they deserve to be dreaming of European football at the end of the season, off the back of their own hard work. The most striking thing about Forest this season is how well they've executed their game plan each and every match day. No other team in the Premier League has taken the lead more often in the Premier League than Santos' team, while only Liverpool have gone behind fewer times than the Reds. Now, such a stat would suggest that Forest have a knack for scoring early goals and clinging on to these leads over the course of the next 90 minutes, but that's not exactly the case. While the percentage of their goals scored in the first 30 minutes of the first half is slightly higher than the league average, their best period of goal scoring can actually be found in the first 30 minutes of the second half, where Santos' team have scored a remarkable 50% of the league goals, which is considerably higher than the league average of 31%. So this tells us that Forest are very good at blitzing teams after half-time in the first 30 minutes of second half. That's when they score their goals. But it's also a bit of a red herring, and we would do well to avoid getting distracted by it. Yes, the club can often sway a game in their favour in the second half of matches, but the truly impressive feat comes well before that. After all, to score the winning goal in the second half, you must first avoid conceding goals in the first half, and that's really where Forest thrive as a team. So far this season, Santos' side have conceded just 8 first-half goals, which is a record matched by Liverpool and only bested by Arsenal and Fulham, who are sitting on 7 conceded goals each. And it's here that we can see why the club have quickly shot towards the top of this season's league table. Now, it might not be the most exciting football to watch over the course of the Europe's top 5 leagues this season, but what Nottingham Forest tend to do is cede possession on the pitch in an attempt to limit the space in their own defensive third. So in a sense, Nottingham Forest are more than happy to give space and time to opposition teams in their own half. But when it comes to very specific goal-scoring chances, the Reds are incredibly well drilled in limiting the amount of space they afford in their own box, which allows teams to take shots on goal. This is evident in the fact that only Brentford have conceded more crosses into their box by opposition teams than Forest, where Santos' team sits 6th among their Premier League rivals for the most passes into their own box this season. But crucially for Forest, those passes and crosses rarely turn into goal-scoring chances for opposing teams due to excellent defending from the likes of Murillo and Nikola Milenkovic, as well as the defensive midfielders in front of them. As a result, while Forest sit 12th in the league for the few shots conceded this season, they rise up to 3rd and sit behind only Arsenal and Liverpool for the percentage of those shots that were allowed to be taken inside their own box. There are 2 other stats that perhaps illustrate the effectiveness of this red wall in front of the Forest goalmouth. The first one is the club's XG per shot conceded average, which is essentially a fancy way of equating the average quality of the chances the team concedes, which happens to be the second best in the Premier League this season. The second stat is perhaps more instinctive to most football fans and relates to the average length of each shot the club has conceded in the league this season. Here, again, Forest are second in the league table, this time behind only Arsenal. So when we combine these 2 stats, I think it does a really good job of painting a picture of a team who limit their opposition to pot shots on the edge of a very crowded defensive box, as opposed to leaving space behind where opposing teams can get one-on-one with their goalkeeper. This, in turn, has led to Forest becoming a team that have a defensive record that could rival the likes of Chelsea or Liverpool, while still remaining a side that average as many block shots per game as teams much further down the league table, such as Everton or Ipswich Town. So Nottingham Forest's season today has been built on these very strong defensive foundations, but the question is, how long can they keep it going? While their ability to defend is clear, the challenge in the second half of the campaign may lie in their attacking output. Chris Wood has been instrumental, scoring an impressive 42.3% of Forest league goals this season, proportionally bettered by Erling Haaland and Manchester City in the league. However, that can also be seen as an over-reliance on the big striker, and should Wood pick up another hamstring injury, having missed 19 games in the last 2 seasons due to such issues, another injury to the target man could leave Forest vulnerable in attack. Now, in the case of a long-term injury to Wood, Forest do have a ready-made replacement in Taiwo Awoniyi. The Nigerian striker may not yet have proven he can match Wood's goal-scoring tally, but he is well suited to playing the same target man role. This would allow Forest's creative players such as Callum Hudson-Odoi, Morgan Gibbs-White, as well as their attacking fullbacks, to continue thriving within their well-drilled system. Yes, that attacking output may drop off, and some of the wins we've seen in the first half of the season might turn into draws, but I don't think that's enough to completely derail their league campaign. Perhaps a more discreet but altogether more worrying concern may lie in the Forest midfield. Players like Elliot Anderson, Ryan Yates and Nicholas Dominguez have all been exceptional this season and proved to be vital in protecting Forest's backline. It would be all too easy to say Murillo or Milinkovic have been enjoying excellent individual league campaigns so far this season, but the truth of the matter is that they've thrived in no small part due to the hard work the midfielders in front of them have done over the course of this league campaign. As such, any serious injury to this midfield trio could allow a number of holes to appear in a previously watertight system. While goals are certainly important for winning games, our surge up the league table has been down to their ability to defend as well as any team in the Premier League. And if they can maintain that in the second half of the season, there's no reason why they won't be challenging for Europe come May.